Hello, good afternoon everyone. Welcome along to coverage of the Men's Scottish Cup final here at the National Hockey Centre in Glasgow, and it really should be an exciting one as Grange take on Bromac Kelburne. This is really the showpiece cup final, and we are thoroughly looking forward to this. Two rivals in league hockey go toe to toe in cup action. We're just a couple of minutes away from getting underway. Alongside myself, Callum Patterson. In the commentary era is Jamie Friel, head of domestic game at Scottish Hockey. Jamie, there's been some good action already here today, and this is just a step up, isn't it?
Yeah, hi Callum, good afternoon. Really good first three matches build up. Quite the crowd gathered now, they're getting quite vocal. The pinnacle of the men's game, so in the league these guys are first and second, and it came down to the wire last weekend, so this is one-off game with the top two teams in Scottish hockey, so really looking forward to this one.
Indeed, welcome along to viewers on the BBC Sports Scotland website. There is the hashtag for this game, hashtag Team Scot Series. This event's part of the Team Scot Series, and let me tell you a bit more about that throughout the game. Let's look at the sides for Grange. Their starting team: Nathan Doherty is in goal. Then we've got Luke Craney, Greg Hopkinson, Cameron Fraser as the captain, Callum Milne, Frank Ryan, Todd Mills, Michael McKenzie, Duncan Riddle, Dom Wild and Joe Waterston. On the sidelines, Ali Irvin, Ryan McCurry, John McCluskey, Andrew Brogdon, Alan Johnson and James Nairn, with Tom Passmore the reserve keeper. For Kelburne, it's Gary Maytals, Adam Bain, Craig Morton, Lee Morton, Johnny Christie, Josh Cairns, Chris Nelson, Ian Schofield, Jack McKenzie, Nick Finlayson, and the keeper is Rory Kerr. On the sidelines, Michael Nicol, Neil McIntyre, Miles Goldie, Jonas Nommensen, Ben Peterson, Fraser Hutchison, and Lachlan Morris is the reserve keeper. And as we touched on with these two, top two in the league in National League One, and it really was nail-biting stuff last weekend. Kelburne snatching the title just from Grange. It was really what we were calling it, helicopter Saturday or car Saturday. It was a much changed
More
weekend
moped
on the table.
Saturday, but it came right down to the wire with Grange in the lead by 2 points, and then unfortunately not fortunately for them, they lost to Western Wildcats, who are sitting fourth in the league, and the trophy changed direction, and it was a 4 o'clock game down the road in Edinburgh, Peffer Mill, Edinburgh Uni versus Kelburne. Kelburne done the job, got the 3 points and won by 1 point, I think, this year for their 12th year in a row.
Yep, and obviously looking for the double. Grange are in white. Their second and third string sides have already won in the lesser competitions, which will bring you up to speed up on throughout the afternoon. And we are off and underway for this final, the cup final, the showpiece game in the calendar. It is the men's taking the action today, and already some early action from Grange. It was Duncan Riddle making a menace in the D and fired away out wide.
Yeah, brilliant early intent there from Grange. They've come out the traps hard. Nice shot on tight angle, but then I think it was Johnny Christie maybe at the back who's done the work and deflected it out wide.
Here's Callum Milne for number 9 on his back. It's back. Fraser comes back on the Kelburne side, had off a foot there. It really is a hard one to call. This season in the league it's 1 win apiece, 3-0 it was to Kelburne back in February, and before the winter stoppage it was a 2-1 win for Grange. So really is anything. There's a real buzz in the crowd, there's lots of supporters from either side. Edinburgh against Paisley, Grange against Kelburne.
Yeah, two top teams, some great individuals out there, ex-Scotland players. I think both teams have 2 current senior national players in their ranks. Grange with a couple of under 21 and under 18s internationalists as well. So we're not short on quality today.
Over high for Grange, and it is Todd Mills trying to race away. Is there an early chance of possibly? And just wide it goes. So it has been good early possession for Grange. Had to really pick themselves off the canvas after last week and the defeat, which sent the title, or kept the title with Kelburne. Now good run on this from Ryan. Trying to keep it in there was Craney. Kelburne themselves had to dice it through to the final with a penalty shootout against Edinburgh Uni. It was 2-2 after normal time, and then to go and win it 3-2 in the shootout, which we might get if it is a level pegging after 70 minutes. 35 minutes a half, and look at the run this from Todd Mills going all the way himself. Just cut short. Mackenzie for Callum Milne. Down for Mackenzie again. Cut out there by Chris Nelson for Kelburne. Well, as I mentioned, Grange might be tails up after their third side won a reserve cup final at 10 AM this morning. The first match on pitch won 1-0, they won against Hillhead thirds, and Grange's second side won the District Cup with a 4-1 win over Watsonian second, so looking for a treble of silverware to take back down the road.
Grange certainly have experience of that, so I think it was 3 seasons ago they managed to get all 3 cups, so it's not unprecedented for them to walk away here with the full quota.
Forward comes Craney again with that 27 on his back, a change, last minute change. Thought it was going to be number 5.
So a fairly high tempo affair to begin with, and that's kind of bubbling over into frustrations with umpires already, so we'll see how that folds out. To add a bit of context, there are 3 players in the Kelburne side today who are on 3 yellow cards for the season. If they get 1 more yellow card, then that's them banned for the next 2 games, which could potentially mean they're banned for their European playoff games.
Yeah, which is important stuff next Sunday. Well, next Saturday and Sunday. Some of the main games, the finals and whatnot, will be here next Sunday, so there's a lot to play for out with today's contest. And now this could fall kindly here for Mackenzie. Mackenzie just need a bit of help. Can he win it back here? He can, supporting Johnny Christie. It will be a Kelburne ball. Here is Lee Morton, trying to jink his way through, and then might well hit his foot, so that will be a turnover of possession. In a blink of an eye, they've had nothing really in terms of attack and sniff, and there was a half chance, a little opportunity. Yeah,
Jack Mackenzie done well to get in the end of it, and then he's turned front stick into the Grange defender, but then his reaction to that turnover was incredible. He's got back behind the ball, he's won it back, he's managed to move it on to Lee Morton. It's bit of a testy affair coming out there now with Jack stepping in.
We're promised this, but quite early into the contest, 7 minutes in, and there's already a little bit of argy-bargy and disagreement. Rivals, these two, very much showing already. Might keep the umpires busy. Ian Diamond and Alex Fedinchuk. As forward again comes Morton. Again, needed that little bit of help. Grange looking to turn something into an attack. Forward went by Duncan Riddle, but to no one. Kelburne were the double winners last year as well, winning this cup 4-1 against Edinburgh Union. Lee Morton was amongst the scorers. Of course, on this Kelburne side today.
Yeah, Lee Morton, a real talent, broke through last season before into the Scottish National setup, and is now touted for the GB pathway. So excellent to see another Scottish player involved.
Now on the overlap, Normanson working around was Jack McKenzie in the D. So fall back here for Peterson, another one of those scorers in last year's final, but a double.
Yeah, Peterson trying to make space on his back stick so he can let fly in reverse. He sees nothing's on, he's fronted up really well by the Grange defender, so he just rolls the ball in looking for a foot or another Kelburne player just to roll into that space. Sensible decision in the end, I think.
Yeah, Peterson scored in the 6th minute in last year's final, very early on. It really set the ball rolling in that game against Edinburgh Union. Hopkinson trying to dart away from danger. Adam Bain forward looking for Peterson. Michael McKenzie was going to try and help out its way. That is a little loose, but it might work out into something, not quite. For Waterston. Now McKenzie. Interesting little tussle with Dom Wild.
Really high tempo to this game, so we started exceptionally high, so I'd be keen to see where this goes, how long they can sustain it for in terms of periods of play. Then it'll be interesting who drops out first and if the other one can overcome that.
Josh Cairns cut off the foot of Duncan Riddle, so there's the free hit.
Josh Cairns is a very no-nonsense style of player. He will smack a ball through space, area, feet, everything, anyone. He's also exceptionally good at drag flicks, so a real threat should there be any penalty corners.
Back here for Nelson. Pinched it but then lost it. Ran out of space and road. Well, both these sides have won 4 and lost 1 out of their last 5 league games. Grange's was the more fatal one towards, well, right at the end of the campaign. Pinched there by Nelson once more. Kenzie making a stride and run into the D. Also Peterson getting forward too. Morton is making the run, he's got it back here. Supporting Nicol if required. Some good Kelburne tracking back, or Grange tracking back rather I should say.
frustration there from Kelburne. That's a no pressure, easy pass. It should be flat. There should be no lift on that. If it's flat, then it's easier for the defender.
There's trouble here, I thought, from the initial Cairns error, and it's hacked away wide. I think it might have been John McCluskey with the final effort. But it all came like a rash, the Grange attack. Kelburne nearly punished defensively. Craig Morton for Lee Morton. Morton skips away, Lee Morton. Can he help it on its way? He can! And Kelburne, who have been under the cosh for the majority of the match so far, and they're the one that have hit the front.
Great skill here by Lee Morton. Recovers really well, picks up, gets his head up nice and early, threads it through, and Jonas Nomsen just knows what he's doing. First time, deflection into the roof of the net. Really tough for the oncoming keeper there. He's went to rush, he thinks the forward's going to take a touch, but he doesn't.
And now there's a free hit to Nomsen with the goal. Free hit by RJ Bargy, and there's a green card being shown a couple of minutes, and it is Lee Morton that's heading this way.
Cammy Fraser for Grange,
Cammy Fraser,
off,
yeah,
which
sorry.
is their captain. So 14 minutes into it, and that's his start to.
And it's found its way through for number 2, and in the chaos and the mayhem, it's number 2, Jack McKenzie, celebrating, and Kelburne celebrating, and a horrible couple of minutes for Grange.
So there's a yellow card, green card that sparks it, and again Josh Cairns is outside the 25, so he can just go route one, and he does, straight in, deflection by Jack McKenzie. Two really well taken deflections.
Well, that is incredible. Grange had plenty off the plate in the opening 12-13 minutes, and then a couple of sucker punches, a green card. And it is Cameron Fraser that was on the sidelines, of course, the Grange captain. And now he's Bain for Kelburne.
Long corner with an overlap on the right here.
Big amount of space, and can they work something here? Well, Ben Peterson was looking around just in case, and it has been a bit of a disaster. They've got a penalty corner here. Astonishing, really, what's happened in the last couple of minutes.
Yeah, I mean, they've really switched this on. So twice they've went really direct and not taken more than one touch in the D, just straight deflections, and that's kind of caught Grange on the hop. Penalty corners have always been a real strength of Kelburne's. They've always had some strong flickers, and they have Josh and Jonas, so they'll set up with a double castle, which is 2 stoppers and 2 flickers. Nope, they're just going to stick with one.
Had their conversation anyway. Kelburne, could they get a shock third? This would be incredible. It's a good save from the strike. Can they follow up? It was Josh Cairns with the initial effort. Nelson looks to get on with it quickly.
Yeah, really good second phase from the Grange goalkeeper, the Australian. He's just went across, nice and big barrier, and let the ball hit your leg guard tonight.
Fraser back on for Grange. It has been a incredible few minutes, and already straight back on and having a quick word with the umpire. It's not really what you want to be doing, getting involved in another conversation just after a green card.
Interesting, if it's for dissent, then as the captain, should there be a team foul, then he also faces a card.
Fraser got himself forward for that, and Craney too. I'm just making sure, I think it's in spot and not moving. Milne trying to get it in towards the D. Comes away with Christie though for Kelburne.
That's excellent.
Lovely ball for Peterson.
Johnny Christie, he just sees there's nothing on,
Keeps it
slows
in,
up, has a look.
kind of salmon dives out of the field. Heavily watered the surface just before we got underway.
Yes, so all the people who have played on sand pitches or on 3Gs with the rubber crumb, you'll see that Ben's legs aren't ripped to shreds there, so the water provides enough, a lack of friction, so no heat, so he's not getting any big burns now. It's what encourages this style of pitch. It's what encourages diving at back post and full stretch lunges, and also allows the ball to roll really smoothly.
Been along for Maytals and had support further up. McIntyre making himself available if required, but go backwards. Maytals once more. Too much for McIntyre to reach that. So just to draw breath if you've just joined us. Grange had a great first 12 minutes of possession, and then Kelburne scored. A couple of quick fire goals. Nommensen, McKenzie. Nommensen that scored in the Kelburne semi-final win against Embry. It was a draw after 70, and then they won through the shootout. Grange trying to get back in with Brogdon. Support came in from Craney. Umpire says it will remain with the attacking side. Craney to Fraser. Helps on its way. Still with the side in white. Side trailing. The Edinburgh outfit. Wild. Gonna get it back here. Flung its way through, looking for Craney. Penalty corner. Grange might have their chance now.
Luke Craney's been exceptional this first 17 minutes. He's just everything he's doing is the ball seems to be stuck to the end of his stick. Individual skill, his work rate. It's good to see him winning something there.
Looks like it came off the leg of Craig Morton. Desperately need a goal back, do Grange. Duncan Riddle to inject from the penalty corner. Interesting routine. Milne with initial try, and in the end it comes to nothing for Grange. And look at this, off and running. Look at the yellow jerseys getting forward. Good stuff from McIntyre, but defence well to thwart him initially. We'll stick with Kelburne. Peterson in a tussle with Johnston. Nelson. Craig Morton. Nelson looking for a bit of help. Flashed it forward and slip and slide. Quite literally, you can slide to try and score, but it's a slidey old fair, try to stay on your feet too. One back by Nelson. Tried to wriggle it through for Johnny Christie.
Excellent pick up by Chris Nelson there. He reads the game so well, he just jumps into the space, so he leaves a gap open, and then as soon as the opposition's head goes down to put the ball there, he steps into it and picks it up.
Here comes Frank Ryan for Grange. Ryan once more.
Taking a mean deflection there, so that'll be a long corner. Kelburne, Grange. Apologies.
A wild deflection to say the least, but they got lucky, and now they'll try and wriggle it through again. Michael McKenzie this time is trying to find the gap. Comes back with Milne. Duncan Riddle. Flung back by Mills. Turn McKenzie's around, and there is one back. Alan Johnson. Hands shaking there, and Luke Craney with the end of the touch. All the white jerseys in there to celebrate because it's a big lifeline back in the game.
Yeah, Kelburne start to crowd it out, and we're talking tiny margins when we get into the baseline there. It's a poor first touch, it's bobbled across, and Luke Craney doesn't make any mistake there. Well deserved goal for him.
A lively old start to this cup final.
Goal scorer for Grange, number 27, Luke Craney.
Grange 1, Kelburne 2. Just under 12 minutes left of this first period. It's a cup final weekend. The cup final's part of the Team Scotland series. Huge year for the Scottish athletes, and the teaming up with a number of events throughout the year, from table tennis, gymnastics. This weekend's hockey, netball, among others, so great to have this event. And there is the hashtag. You can get in touch with us throughout the game. I'll read out some of your thoughts at half time, full time.
Yeah, it's great to see the partnership with Team Scotland for the future players, the Commonwealth Games. Some of the players here have been to a few, so Ian Schofield and Johnny Christie, but in terms of Lee Morton, currently in the national setup, and Jack McKenzie, they're all definitely future stars and ones to watch. Obviously,
anyone watching the BBC Scotland coverage online, remember the Commonwealth Games here just 2 or 3 years back now, 2014, so it was a great event here, and now this place is showcasing many events international, and the club game like this final as Kelburne look to try and get themselves a third.
So Kelburne players just drove into the D and then bounced the ball off a shin guard of the Grange defender. It's dropped to another Kelburne player who's had the opportunity to shoot but not enough. He's been turned away, so no real advantage, and they've given the penalty corner. It was good umpiring by Alex.
Took a little moment and then decision made, and a little bit of a break in the clock just so they can get themselves set up defensively. Grange, Kelburne will look to try and restore their 2-goal advantage in the Scottish Cup final here at the Hockey Centre in Glasgow.
So if there's any non-hockey fans watching and have just switched on, then any foul inside that white circular D that you can see in front of the goal, it results in a penalty corner where you only get 4 defenders and 1 goalkeeper defending against the opposition team.
10 minutes left in this first period. It's a good save. Can they follow it up? Yes, they can. Josh Nairns with the initial try, Johnny Christie in the follow-up, and there is the 2-goal cushion once more.
Great injection, great stop. Goalkeeper really solid, lands it well. It takes a bounce straight to Johnny Christie, who makes no mistake. So that's a hard skill to complete. But Johnny Christie takes his time, puts it at the roof of the net. He had 2 players to beat there.
Christie scored a hat-trick in a huge win against the FMGA Monarchs in the quarter-final. 20 goals scored, a bit of a mismatch in terms of levels. 3rd tier side. But it's got a big goal in the big one in the cup final.
I think the 20-0 just goes to show Kelburne's relentless approach. There's no break, so regardless of the scoreline, they just keep going, looking for more. That's obviously the attitude it takes to win 12 in a row.
Grange's turn to try and reduce their arrears. Dom Wild's ball didn't come to anything. Maples decides to go backwards. A little bit tight. Schofield got it away. Nelson. Being for Cairns. Decided to go slightly different. Finlayson wasn't really ready for that.
Game's starting to take a bit of a dip here with both coaches looking to change some personnel. Kelburne's coach is Gordon Shepherd. He is the women's national coach, women's senior national coach as well. Grange's coach is David Knight, who is also the under-18s men's coach for Scottish Hockey.
Josh Cairns intercepted by Fraser. Over the top it goes for the chasing Todd Mills. Craig Morton was back there just to watch for any danger. Nelson. Well, to keep hold. Can't quite wriggle out the tight space. Can a side leading? Forward it went, looking for Mackenzie, Jack Mackenzie, that is the Kelburne player. Did that stay in? Frank Ryan was trying to keep it in. Umpire says no.
Kelburne really stretching the game here, so they've got the ball on their own 25 and they've got 3 forward in the opposition 25, so it's a good 50-60 yards difference between the back line and the front line. Really stretching Grange.
Craig Morton. Good turn away by Jack Mackenzie. Ben Peterson in front if required, if needed. Got the free hit. Each of the ball's at a standstill and everything's in order.
Yep. So
back they come.
In such a hurry to take it, they've not taken it where the foul occurred, so you'll see the umpires ask them to move it back to where the original foul happened.
Craig Morton trying to feed it through a gap, it wasn't there. Here comes Michael Mackenzie for Grange, but didn't get too far with that. Lee Morton taking on Milne.
So the game's definitely starting to slow, which is understandable considering the pace that it started at. But with 4 minutes left half the time, don't think that's the end of it.
Lee Morton keeping it down there. They do have the long corner with Cairns. Adam Bain. And time and space. Clear away and Brogden got some distance. I think.
Yeah, it's quite unfortunate. Chris Nelson has went to stop the ball and it's popped up and hit his arm. and then the whistle's not went, so he's went to play the ball, and the umpires deemed he's played it after the whistle's gone, so it's wasting time, wasting an opportunity that Grange could have had in terms of an advantage in that area. So he gets a green card and a seat for at least a minute.
Yeah, Nelson back or down in the sideline, should say, and Grange trying to take the opportunity with Kelburne a man light. Brogdon sees some space on the other side. Milne comes back for Michael McKenzie.
Callum Milne under no pressure here. Kelburne just choosing to sag in. One man down, 3 minutes left, 2 goals up. Let's just ride this one out till half time, I think.
Well, Grange got through to the final 4 victories, all against First Division opposition, 25 goals. Of course, their run got through with a big win over Grove Menzies Hill, 8-1 in the semi-final. Ben Peterson for Kelburne.
Great bit of skill by Ben Peterson. We saw it in other 3 games, that ability to get the ball up and off the ground. It's really hard for the defender to make any kind of legal tackle, so it's a swinging stick to a small ball when the ball's on the ground, and you've got a big long lever of a stick to try and to use as a barrier. But once they get a ball up in the air, 3D skill, then you're always in a chance of just getting that nick past them.
90 seconds left of first period in a pulsating final. Huge space here for Adam Bain. Kelburne looking for a 4th before the break. Can they find a little gap? Ben Peterson with a strike. Ball goes the other way.
Yeah, there's a bit of protesting. It's Grange ball because Ben's shot has been raised, and if there's a player within 5 metres of you and it hits you above the shin guard, then it's a foul against the person who lifts it.
All about the safety.
Well, that ball could travel, and trust me, it hurts.
Big gap. No one could reach the end of it. Craney thought, we'll try and keep it in. Is there one last chance? Craney did so well. The score in the semi-final and earlier in this final. Bain did well to dart it off him.
I mean, look, Craney has given his all here. It's brilliant to watch.
So almost at the end of the first period, it's went by very quickly, has to be said. And that'll do for the first half. Well, a really extraordinary game, an extraordinary period. After the first 12-13 minutes, Grange were in control, no goals, and then with a couple of quick fire finishes from Kelburne, a chat going on the sidelines. Well, Cammy Fraser's really been a bit of an enigma to the umpires in the first half, and a green card as well. That chat goes on, but extraordinary periods in between that green card was 2 goals, quick fire against the play at the time.
Absolutely. I mean, Lee Morton's skill that leads up to Jonas getting that final touch is great to see. The awareness, the composure just to bring it onto his reverse, the slight dink on the ball to lift it over the defender's stick. Here we have Cammy Fraser getting the initial green card, which took him off, and Josh Cairns just route one. Jack McKenzie reading it really well as to where to lead and when. Times the run perfectly. Slightest of touches across the goalkeeper, bottom corner.
Well, while you're watching this, there's still a conversation going down with the umpires and Cammy Fraser as we see that goal there for Grange.
Yep, taken well. Goalkeeper's expecting it to dive across to the right. Rory Cairn goals makes himself nice and big, but Luke Craney just manages to knock it back to where it came from.
And then this was the third. And Johnny Christie finishing at the second try after the initial effort from Cairns.
Ball has to go high there. If it's low, then the goalkeeper's still there. You've got the defender on the post able to step in, so putting the ball in at head height, very, very few defenders will step in front of that.
I can report that the incident down in the sidelines has been sorted. There was a nice handshake, so Cameron Fraser sorted things out with the umpires. So we'll take a pause. The second half will be underway in about 8-9 minutes time. So at the break, for the moment, it is Grange 1, Kelburne 3 in the Scottish Cup final. Okay, welcome back for second half coverage of this Scottish Cup final. It has been the day for the main showpiece games in hockey. The women's turn tomorrow. Great to have you joining us on the BBC Sports Scotland website. Coverage of the women's final there tomorrow too. And Jamie Frail is alongside myself, Carl Patterson. Jamie, the head of the domestic game, so just about the best man for the job, covering all the action, and hopefully that'll be just as breathless in this second half.
Yeah, four goals in the first half, and two teams that have really went 100%. Some great individual play, but in terms of team quality, superb.
Already a quick fire run through. Is this going to be cut back for one back? Frank Ryan was around Todd Mills, almost getting in the way of each other in the end. It just seemed to not quite be quite the same wavelength. Grange trying to get out, firing.
Yeah, it almost seemed as if there was too many people in the D to get the ball in there, and Rory Kerr in the goal just reads it really well, commits to nice big save, gets his stick in the middle of the two players as it's tried to be switched, and clears the ball. Superb goalkeeping.
Bringing up to date with what's happened today in the Reserve Cup final this morning. Grange's third side beat Hillhead 1-0. Grove beat Watsonian's third side 5-2. Both third sides playing in that one, 5-2 in the plate competition. In the district plate, it was Edinburgh Uni 4, Erskine Stewart's Melville 1. Grange seconds beat Watsonian seconds 4-1 in the district cup final. And then we've seen the plate final earlier before this one. Western Wildcats beating Watsonians 4-1. Now Craney for Grange, working himself through somehow. Keeper was there just to disrupt things. Umpires stopped.
Again,
play.
good goalkeeping there from Rory. He's read what's happening, he's went out, he's been a big barrier, let the ball hit him. I think what's happened afterwards is that the Grange player, as he's jumping over the oncoming goalkeeper, has made contact with the trailing defender. I think it was maybe Adam Bain, and made contact with the head. So Alex Videnchuk, the umpire, has just decided to pause the game. We would normally have a bully here, but because Grange are aware that it was Kelburne's ball when the whistle went, they've just decided to give him the ball back. It's very, very good sportsmanship.
Well, they've got it straight back. Riddle's trying to get it forward. Still plenty of time in the contest, so certainly panic shouldn't be in the minds of the Grange players. Free hit went Grange's way despite the mess of feet getting tangled and whatnot. Craig Morton just cutting that out on the Kelburne defensive side. Will be the long corner. Wild. He's got it back. Hopkinson. Just that ball through for Waterston. He loses out in the end. Is there flood of yellow coming on the break? Here's Finlayson for Kelburne, the side leading. It's the three first half goals through Normanson, McKenzie and Christie. Nice little move trying to find Christie. Keeper Nathan Doherty was out. Now good skill in the D. Christie was waiting just in case. Falls for Nelson. Pushed out wide. Waterson doing well defensively. Camped a little bit here the last minute or so, Grange. Forward come Kelburne, can they get a lunge in? They're going to score now. Craig Morton, absolutely big celebration. Again, Grange has had the better start to the second period. Bang up the other end, Kelburne, 30 seconds, a minute's worth of pressure. It's 4.
They're just so ruthless and committed. So ball fed in here, and doesn't look like much, but the big dive there from the Kelburne player is enough to put the goalkeeper off, and all the goalkeeper can do is create a block rather than trying to kick the ball clear, just in case. I think it's Nick Finlayson that puts the dive in. So the ball just hits the goalkeeper's pads, rolls back out to Craig Morton, and there he goes, buries it bottom corner.
Finlayson dive, more than anything, just kind of shook everything up.
Yeah,
didn't really know what was happening. Up the other end, can Grange get themselves a second? It's a bigger margin to try and pull back now. Frank Ryan worked himself into the knee, but space closed and it closed.
Yeah, the way he's set up there, he's brought the ball in towards his feet, so even if he gets a shot off, it was never going to be particularly powerful, but I think that was his best option. There wasn't a lot going on around him. Cammy Fraser just aware of numbers, taking his time, finding a foot just outside the D. Sensible approach. Kelburne crowding out this side of the pitch, so Grange knocking the ball across, trying to find more space, less bodies.
And that is where Callum Milne comes into play.
Yep, nothing that side, so they go back round again.
Wild. Fraser tries to control, it was lethal, that ball. That is a turnover ball.
Lee Morton comfortable with his own skill just to stand in that corner and force Grange to do something. As soon as a Grange stick comes in, then there's a high probability of the ball getting played out. So Lee comfortable just wasting time in there. 4-1 up. Lee now playing quite deep. He's normally the centre forward, but he's dropped all the way back to Kelburne's 25.
Tussle there goes against Michael McKenzie and Grange. Not too happy about that, but Kelburne tried to fire it forward with Finlayson. It's cut out very quickly. Now chance on the other side for Craney leading the counter. Grange desperately needing a second to get back in touch and distance. That was intercepted, trying to find Riddle. Great running from Lee Morton. Natal's back into the heart of the defence. Craig Morton back to Matels. Josh Cairns has been a goal scorer in the run in that semi-final from the spot. I'll play on, says the umpires. And Craig Morton carries on. Find Finlayson. Nelson for Matels. Started out by Cammy Fraser. Craig Morton for Schofield. Gets it back from Christie's ball. And out it goes, and umpires are certainly getting some jip from some of the players throughout the course, and they've been quite patient with them as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think both teams are fairly well known for being passionate. Umpires are taking that into context and they're not doing anything rash.
Lee Morton, fire right across, and 3-4 yellow bodies in there. It's not quite near one of them.
Grange still not committing too many bodies up front. Even when they've got the ball up on the baseline, there's still only 3 players in the D.
Ali Irvin back to Nairn. Nairn trying to tie it through for Irvin. Can he reach it? No, he can't quite.
It's excellent vision from James Nairn though. He knew the person who had originally committed to the corner was going to come in baseline, just a bit inaccurate in the final ball.
High just about works out. Christie.
Ben Peterson, acres of space up front. Josh Cairns for a throw. Thought we might have seen a bit more scoops. If they're putting players high, then that's one of the easiest ways to get the ball up and to them.
No one sent. Did have space and time and holds on. That's support. Peterson's delivery off the body. Off Cammy Fraser. It is a penalty corner, and here he is going to have another little chat with umpire. He's going to get himself maybe talked into the sidelines again, is he? Certainly the umpire's on a good chat. Here's another look at the incident. Come off his foot, didn't it?
Yeah, so the initial ball in from, I think it's maybe Ben Peterson on the right hand side, rather than being the standard front stick where the stick's on your right hand side, he's brought it round to his left, and when you go in the reverse to strike the ball, the tendency is for the ball to lift quite high. So I don't know if that was going into Cammy Fraser's mind and his stick wasn't protecting his feet, but definitely hit his foot, and then I think Cammy not passing the ball on for the short corner and then hitting it away normally would have got him in the book, but bearing in mind he's already had a seat today.
Well, he's had a long chat. It is Maitles with the injections for this penalty corner. This to make it 5 potentially. And it is number 5. It is high fives. Chris Nelson at the bottom of the mush pit. Into Lincoln play. Josh Cairns, Chris Nelson.
Yeah, superb stuff. So Jonas Nomsen, the German for Kelburne, is well known for his drag flicks, so everybody commits to that. Chris Nelson just takes the touch, lets it come across his body, and then knocks it low into the corner. The postman there with the mask on looks disappointed. That's came down his inside. You would hope, your goalkeeper would hope that he'd maybe get a bit more on that.
Mind the 2 meetings in the league, 3-0 Kelburne in February and 2-1 Grange, so 3-0 seems quite a big score, but it's like 5-1 to Kelburne. Pattern seems to have been in the first and the second period. Grange start off well and then concede, and then the stuffing gets knocked out of them.
Yeah, certainly the 2 other teams, that Grange teams that took place this morning, then that was the pattern. Grange today haven't really got into their stride yet, I don't think, apart from the first half. We saw glimmers of what they can do. I think they're just rattled or aware of that 4-goal gap. It'll be interesting to see what they change now, because that's 4 goals in 20 minutes is required. While it's not impossible, it's improbable.
Maitles trying to get roaring up the channel. I wonder, has the hangover from last week crept in, do you think, Jamie?
Yeah, I mean, it's a very valid point. Kelburne being on a high and continuing the winning way, Grange coming out of that massive disappointment of being 2-0 up against Western Wildcats and then losing 3-2 and losing the league. Winning's a good habit to be in, and Kelburne are in it.
This is nice, neat play though, trying to get a second. It was Riddle, and he was instigating it, Brogdon too, and trying to get a little glimmer.
That's the extra bit of goalkeeping that's required there. So rather than just being a shot stopper, Rory Kerr has read that there's someone back post. It's not a shot on target, but it's a shot across the face of goal. So he stepped out and cleared it.
Penalty corner this time for Grange.
Reads it well, gets across. So not a shot on target, but knows that there's a danger at the back post. Rory Kerr gets his left foot out.
Well, talking of hangovers, Kelburne have certainly gotten over those in a different sort of way, you could say.
Yes.
Sure, they had plenty of celebrations last week.
Here there were a few drinks. But professional, they've came back, they're now 4 goals up.
Grange trying to reduce the readers. Riddle with the injection. They really could do with something to spark them for the final 20. It's a good save from keeper Don Wild.
Yep, Rory Kerr again there, same as the first half when they had the drag flick from the top. Grange had the drag flick from the top. Rory Kerr just getting a big right leg guard across. It's a really tough height for a goalkeeper to get to, but he's managing it.
Brogdon driving in. Keeper smothering it. Did Kerr, and they've got a penalty corner. And Kelburne certainly having a bit of a chat with the umpire.
So again, Rory Kerr has read it well. He's came out nice and early, huge big barrier down low, and then the ball has dropped in front. And I think the umpires have seen a foot in there from Kelburne somehow. Kelburne don't seem to agree with that and continue the conversation.
Certainly there was a bit of a chat with Adam Bain, who was a bit incensed with it, but another chance for Riddle.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be long before the umpires start to reach into their pocket to challenge this dissent.
As we say, they've been very patient, but time has to come, you'd think, soon. So what can they do for a second goal? 20 minutes and 8 seconds left. This would be a handy time to give them that chance. It's different. Oh, and it's sclaffed by Fraser. And well, they were intricate. They tried something a bit different.
Yeah, the drag flick's not working, so if you move the defenders, you start to find the gaps. He knows he's not going to get a full flick on that, tries to get it round the oncoming diving keeper, and Alan Johnson at the back post just unlucky not to get a piece of it. Anything would have put it in that direction.
Time dwindling for Grange. Narrowly lost out in a heartbreaking fashion in the league last week in the NL1, and now being thumped in the showpiece final. Brogdon, venomous fire across, and it's been put in. Well, it was kept in somehow, and they've got a lifeline anyway.
That's incredible, from such a tight angle. Rory Kerr, the goalkeeper's lined up, saw him running down the baseline, thought, go ahead, make my day, shoot from there, and someone nips in, gets the slightest of touches just in front of him.
Ali Irvine it was that took the nick, so well, maybe there is the tiniest bit of hope. Well, there is time left. It can be done, improbable, but a mini chance. Did so well to keep it in play, and then a hit and hope and a little touch into goal.
Goes to show there's once you're in the D, and we saw it in the game earlier on today. I think Grange had a shot from similar sort of angle, shot on target, went through the goalkeeper, so any shot on target is good.
Fraser helps it back. Now we're going to switch to Brogdon.
That goal's maybe just taking the wind out of Kelburne's sail. They seem to be sitting back at half court now. That's the kind of formation that Grange like to play against. They get lots of time for their centre backs to move the ball around the back, find the space, crash the ball in just to the edge of the D. So it's interesting that Kelburne's response is to drop into their own half.
Johnson lost that to Miles Goldie. Shove goes against Riddle, who is the one on the floor. The big day for the Mines. Forward for Craney. A little bit quieter, but sure now with that second goal will be sparked back into life. Turn twist away by Michael McKenzie, thinking of the next avenue, next path to go forward. Here this time given away for Lee Morton. Trying to rove his way in against Lee Morton, and again a little bit of a temper tail, hit the stick. Nairn. 2, 3 in the D, a couple others around. Doesn't come anywhere near the D though. Flicked across and on the break. Peterson. Keeper has to flash out and just dart it away.
We're going to have a stop here. There's a head injury. I think just as they were following through, I think Ben Peterson, as he's jumping over the goalkeeper, has clipped the top of Michael McKenzie's head. So as soon as there's a head injury in hockey, you stop the game. Time obviously stops, so no injury time or anything added at the end.
Thankfully not too long a stoppage, everyone okay, and Grange continue their quest to turn around this unlikely scoreline it would be to try and change it up. 3 goals at least for the shootout with 14 minutes left on the clock. Tough task, not impossible, but still fairly improbable.
A 5 each in running penalties would be excellent. A good Saturday night viewing.
Riddle skittles off Cairns, stays in play.
Jonathan Christie and Chris Nielsen coming on now, so back to almost the starting squad with the experience of the previous senior internationalists.
Too much on that for Gary Meatless.
Lee Morton fortunate to get away with what looked like a fairly large back stick there.
And then he was the one that got a free hit there, and a little another slip to boot.
So this is where Kelburne could be dangerous. Josh Cairns with a throw or a hard hit into space.
Found it. Keeper out again, Doherty. Trying to pick it up was Nelson. Grange is just behind Duncan Riddle.
Yep, just a bit of a misconnect there.
They're trying to press though, and they do have it back.
They have numbers. Move it early
3,
into this
4,
space.
5 forward. Can they keep it in play? They can. Can they find the cut back? Waiting for it, Craney, but they've just about dealt with it. That seemed a little hesitant, the ball.
Yeah, I think Frank Ryan there had to get the slightest of lifts on it. He turns and then puts it straight into a Kelburne front stick. We're on now, it's a 3v1.
Trouble here for Grange, exposed, but back there's the captain, Cammy Fraser, just to stop things. Will still be a Kelburne ball. Jack McCain's out wide. Matels, can he find teammate in Yale to help it on its way? It's fair play and Grange have it back. tactics kind of going out the window a little bit, backwards and forwards. Riddle, his turn to try and fire it forward, clear away by Lee Morton. Kelburne supporters in the stand still a bit nervous here.
Yeah, it's been a bit quiet in the stands. I don't know if that's because they've been spoiled with 7 goals up till now, so the anticipation's gone. But yeah, normally you'd hear a bit more noise.
Still a bit tense. Let's see, I think they're still a little bit worried if Grange got a third with 11 left. Milne, oh, as it slipped through and Waterstein couldn't quite connect. Keeper just smothered it enough. Good Rory Kerr.
Yeah, Joe Waterstein here elects to go for a really complicated manoeuvre, which is to lift it up and then try and knock it back into the goal in one kind of go. He had on his left Cammy Fraser, so even if he'd picked up and dropped straight, then Cammy Fraser would have had a bit more of a chance. So interesting to see.
Fraser back to Milne. Hopkinson or to Craney.
Finds Adam Bain's foot. Look, Craney again, not slowing down, just quick as you can, take that extra.
Can it fall here? Ryan Mills trying to keep it for his side. He's dotted away anyway.
So Ian Schofield taking no chances there. Ball drops onto his reverse, he just throws it out. If in doubt, put it out.
Ryan, too many touches. Break again, but there isn't too many numbers, but they are flooding forward now. Johnny Christie to the front. Johnny Christie's going to pick it up. Can he get it round the keeper? It's almost like a shootout. But 1, 2, 3 bodies came back, keeper did well, and in the end Grange survive.
Yeah, great build up from Ian Schofield, so he knows there's nothing in front of him and he just jogs, lets people overlap him, doesn't do anything silly, rolls the ball forward into space for Johnny Christie, who brings it round the keeper but unfortunately just doesn't make contact as he does the diving reverse. He'll be disappointed there.
Lee Morton. Finlayson was working his way around. Falls back for Craig Morton. Grange come away again, not for long. Nicol getting in the way. Turn on the field now is Michael Nicol. And impetuousness.
Yeah, Nick Finlayson getting a card there.
Slam dunk, I think.
Yeah, for not retreating 5 metres after a foul.
Grange trying to take the opportunity. Then with a man extra. Milne is around now, can they play it in? Well marshalled away by Peterson. For now anyway, it's in a tight spot down there. Thumped up forward for Peterson.
Yeah, centre back, centre forward. When you've got that in your armoury, then you use it. From 125 to the other. It was a great flick from Josh.
Brogden supporting Waterston. Now Ryan. Excellent save away by Kerr.
Great play by Frank Ryan from Grange. He picks the ball up and all he does is go straight to the D and try and get a shot off. Exciting player to watch.
Now it's excellent play from the other side. Look at the swarm of yellow jerseys back to try and defend that. Almost no chance for Todd Mills to find any sort of space.
So you see, Frank Ryan just leads in and he's just 2 touches to get the ball into the D and then he shots off as soon as he crosses that line. Rory Kerr getting a big left hand to it, reminiscent of Scottish goalkeeping legend Jeej there.
Brogden, who's had a terrific second half. Umpires just trying to get the decision right.
Yeah, so Grange are appealing because it looks as if the way Kelburne tackled.
And it's going to come through, is it? Not quite. Frank Ryan in the thick of it again. Fast and furious. Craney, the teammate for help and company. Normanson comes away with it for Kelburne into the final 5. Bain. Run out of room. Let's have a look at this again.
A well worked routine, so when the ball needs to move 5 metres before it goes into the D, if it's taken inside the 25 and it's just deflected first time in and they know the space that it's going to be, Frank Ryan just doesn't even bother with a touch. One timer, gets the shot off. Unfortunately it's just straight down the middle. Rory Kerr, easy save out wide.
Mills and bit of a mess. Not happy. For the first time somebody's going to go at the umpire. They've stood it once or twice, but it's pretty incredible. They've kind of held off cards. I know card spoil games, but sometimes ill discipline should be punished. But they've kind of tried to keep it. It's a big game, 2 sides. They've got a lot at stake. The umpires are trying to keep their cards to a minimum.
Absolutely, it's far more patient than I would have been.
Skills galore from Frank Ryan. Waterston trying to keep it alive acrobatically.
Yeah, and I hate to sound like Rory Kerr fan club here, but the ball's dropped in front of him. There's lots of bodies. There's no clear route, so he kicks under and up and over to get it out nice and safely.
Milne. Craney. Bashing it, I think, in hope for maybe a penalty corner. So don't clear where that ball goes, kind of clearance. Riddle. Waterston rather that was, I should say. Now can they find something again? Look at the yellow jerseys back there, just defending, just soaking it up and eating down the clock into the final 3. It was a 4-1 win against Edinburgh Uni last year. At the moment it's 5-2 to Kelburne in this year's cup competition. Remember to get in touch through Twitter. We can read out some thoughts before the trophy presentation. Hashtag Team Scott Series, as we mentioned, this weekend is part of the Team Scotland Series, focusing on a number of different events across 12 Commonwealth Games sports over the year. A number of sports involved. This is just one of them. Turning shot from Riddle. Saved again by the keeper. And now look at the space and the time. Jack McKenzie, couple of defenders back. McKenzie, can he seal it off once and for all? He can't. Doherty was big and strong, but the umpire is going to stop things.
Yeah, I think Ian Diamond there is, as Jack McKenzie's came running through, the ball's hit a foot, and Ian Diamond has assumed that it's hit a Grange foot in the way in, but in truth Jack McKenzie I think has hit his own foot, so the ball's given away. While we're watching that, Grange have ran up the other side of the park and squandered an opportunity.
Final minute, is there one final bit of defiance from Grange? Waterston losing out in the detail. Well, there's still playoff to come next week in Europe. Kelburne really turned their season around with that bit of luck and fortune to win another title last week. They're 10 seconds away from another cup. The countdown is on in the crowd, and it's over, and it is the Scottish Cup once again for Kelburne. It is the double again for Kelburne. And the trophy as well, sent in last week, was snatched away from the jaws of defeat with the drama last Saturday. Today, in moments where they were against the line of play possession, they pulled out the fire with clinical finishing, and in the end they were just too good for Grange, Jamie.
Absolutely, you can see why Kelburne have managed to win the league so many times, and how they managed to produce so many Scotland players. That attitude, that ethos, that approach, that individual skill and ability, it's the real ethos of the club, and it shows in big games like today. Grange weren't out of it, so Grange really tested Rory Kelburne's goal. They kept plugging away some individual brilliance from players like Luke Craney and Frank Ryan. It could have been a lot more high scoring. I think 5-2 in the end is there or thereabouts in terms of Kelburne's finishing. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant to watch.
So the presentation will come shortly, and you'll see that in a few minutes' time. But the goals for Kelburne, 5 in total. Nominson, McKenzie, Christie in the first half, Big Morton and Nelson in the second. A couple of goals for Grange, but in the end it wasn't enough for this Kelburne side, as the music layers and the celebrations for this Kelburne side down below, as you can see on screen. I'm sure they had a big party last week. I guess they'll have the same tonight.
Well, yeah, so in the back of their mind they'll be thinking there's potential for Grange to be an opponent next weekend as well, so as much as they would like to enjoy this, it's right back to training this week in preparation for that European playoff. Kelburne in Europe have been touch and go this year. They hosted a European competition, so they've got the taste for it, that's for sure.
Let's look over the goals, and this is how Grange got things going in the first half. It's 1-0 Nominson, and this was just a crazy spell in the game, 2 or 3 minutes, green card in there for Cammy Fraser of Grange. This was him running off.
You see Cammy going off, and then you see the ball's outside the 25, so it can go straight in. There's no need for anybody else to touch it. It does. Jack McKenzie just leading to his left, one hand, opens the face of the stick, lifts it across the goalkeeper into the side net. Really well taken goal, really well set up by Josh Cairns.
There was a bit of hope. Craney had an excellent first period.
Yeah, and a well-deserved goal, so Goalkeeper there commits, diving across, has to go for the percentages, and Luke Prairie knocks the ball back across him, which is a really tough gig to try and save.
But then there was still time for another first half goal for Kelburne from the penalty corner. Christie with the follow-up.
Yep, good initial save. The goalkeeper might be a bit frustrated that nobody closes down in the second phase, but Johnny Christie pounces on it immediately.
Into the second half, and it was 4-1. Craig Morton with this one.
Yep. So the players off the ball there really make his job easy. They really create doubt in the goalkeeper's mind for the initial dive from Nick Finlayson to whoever's standing in the goalkeeper's left post.
This was another penalty corner move for Chris Nelson.
Excellent composure from Chris. He just takes his time, lets the ball come across in front of him, gets his feet round, and it's just low and hard into the corner. He would do that all day.
There was still time. This was still a fair bit to go in the game. Try and make things a bit more interesting. One player had a good second half, particularly was Andrew Brogdon, and from that tight angle, Ali Irvin managed to sneak in a little bit to just get the touch, the important touch, but in the end, in vain. So getting ready for the presentation. Nice while we're looking through the goals. Kelburne were just applauding their supporters. We'll do it all again tomorrow with the women's competition, and we've talked a bit about the Team Scotland series. Some internationals been on the show, and obviously, Jamie, while we're just waiting for the presentation to get going, it's a big point as the umpires get their souvenirs about the Scotland men's side. Obviously crowdfunded at the moment, big events coming up, obviously first time for them at the World League semi-finals.
Yeah, so the men's senior national team have the campaign of Back the Blue Sticks to go down to World League 3, which is the equivalent of the semi-final before the World Cup. It's the last stage there, so if they qualify from that, they go straight to London in the summer, next summer, for the finals of the World League. The group that they're in have some fairly major names. Holland, they have, I think, Malaysia and perhaps Canada. So it's a tough gig, but it wasn't unexpected. It was just slightly unplanned for. So with recent Sport Scotland funding, we've now got a campaign to get them there.
So there's plenty going on with Scottish hockey, and we've seen a showpiece game in the club game, the cup final, playoffs to come next week, the women's competitions tomorrow, the women's finals tomorrow, which will be very exciting, I'm sure. Of course, BBC Scotland viewers online, there's a big interest. I know BBC Radio Orkney heading down for the Orkney Shetland contest in the District Cup final. There's Granite City Wanderers against Glasgow Accies in the first game, the plate final. In the District Plate final, the National Plate final is Glasgow Union Cala at 2, then the big one at 4 is the Clydesdale Western Edinburgh Uni game. Souvenir medals, disappointment for Grange. It really has taken the wind out of their sails in the last couple of weeks. It's a shame to see it after the last week and not really quite at the races. As I said during commentary during the game, that the wind really was taken out of them when Kelburne scored in those purple patches.
Yeah, I mean that 2-minute period was enough to wind out the sails and less of a fight. It's interesting to see some of the players just taking their medals off instantly. It shows their kind of attitude towards winning.
There's a bit of comfort for Grange that the seconds and third string sides won in the lesser competitions today, but I know they were wanting the big one. Here is the Kelburne side, picked out one or two players for Grange. Both Mortons had some cracking moments in there. Ben Peterson was lively. Johnny Christie as well. Who would be your pick of the players that for the Kelburne side today?
So up there would be their goalkeeper, Rory Kerr. That's not Goalkeepers Union chatting here. Lee Morton done a power of work as he does. His individual skill is brilliant. It would have to be perhaps the old guard of Johnny Christie, Ian Schofield or Chris Nelson, the three solid, the spine of the team, making the effort. So it's tough to single out one player. I think Kelburne is a unit just now. That's the key. That's the secret.
It says a lot that we're picking out a number of players. Really, it was a real team effort.
Absolutely.
Not just the 11 that started, right the way through. Everyone played their part. So everyone has got a medal.
We just have our president of Scottish Hockey, Anne Witherspoon, about to present Scottish Cup.
Lovely trophy it is as well. Champagne is ready. Ben Peterson in charge of that, so the crowd just taking cover. And it's the big lift for Kelburne. It's double again for them in the league and the cup. They really are the kings of the club game in Scotland. Excellent to see. Final thoughts on this one and the whole day, Jamie?
Great day, yeah. So superb support from all the clubs involved, and the pinnacle, the men's final, was played in really, really high tempo, good attitude, good approach, and 7-goal thriller.
Thanks so much, Jamie, for your thoughts today. We'll see you tomorrow for the women's competitions. All gets underway at 10 AM through the Scottish Hockey YouTube and BBC Sports Scotland coverage of the Women's Cup final from 4. So do join us for all of that tomorrow. Kelburne winning the showpiece men's final by 5 goals to do here this afternoon into the early evening. It's bye from us.